The thing I wanted to ask you first, Matt, is I talked to Lane last year before camp started, and you guys had basically no spring practice. Um, Nobody really knew what anything was. But when did you guys figure out, okay, this offense could be good, could be really good?
I mean, around mid season of last year. I mean, Kiffin probably knew it before then, but I mean, when I realized it, it was middle of the season of last year for sure.
What was it that kind of clicked for you that you realized, oh, this is potentially great?
Um, when I realized how much of my decisions on each play really affected the game. That's when I realized how much power I had, and that's when I realized, damn, this is really going to be up to me, majority of it. And that comes back to Kiffin and Levy telling me, like, having a one-on-one with me, and this is just behind the scenes, me and him. Whenever something goes wrong or whatever, he told me, no matter what, Matt, this team is going to go how you go. If you do bad, the team's going to do bad. If you do good, the team's going to do good. This is fully on you, and it sucks that you're in this position, but it's what you wanted. And I'm like, you're right, coach. So I mean, it is what I wanted, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, and that's what I've heard all your interviews this year, and a lot of what you've talked about is responsibility and your responsibility to the team, your responsibility to your teammates. Uh, Was that kind of something you figured out either last year or was it after 2019 that you realized, okay, I have to take responsibility for all of this?
It was really last year, and last year after the bad games, and really going through those experiences and just having to deal with them. And then it's like, how are you going to deal with it? You can't just lay down and quit. You got to keep going and keep getting better. And it was really just come down to situational decision making and understanding what Levy wants out of this play call when he's calling on this down and distance, and just being on the same page. And I think this offseason gave us a great opportunity to get better at that.
What is Lane like after a 6 interception game against Arkansas? What does he say to you?
I mean, it wasn't. It, it was more of like a comforting thing rather than talking down on me and pointing the finger. Uh, he made me feel like I was the dude, and like this transformed into something later on that made me into something that I didn't realize it was doing to me. So like it made me feel like I was the dude. Like I there's no one else, man. Like this is your spot. I'm not going to pull you out. This is your team, and I fully trust you. And it was that kind of bond after the game. And then later on in this, as the offseason goes by, there's guys having confidence issues, and I was the same way in that circumstance, in that situation. And I had a meeting with the team, and it was like a lot of those players needed to feel like how I felt when Coach Kiffin came into that meeting with me one on one and be like, "Yo, you belong in this seat. You belong in this position. You can do this." And some players just need that extra confidence boost, and that's exactly what I did, and I think it helped.
Does that push you harder? Because it feels like it's him basically saying, look, you're in control of this. Because a lot of coaches are kind of control freaks and they'll say, well, you need to do this and this and this and just listen to what I say. But it sounds like he kind of pushed the control onto you and said, however you want to do this is how it's going to go.
Absolutely, and I think that's what made me want to do more. It made me want to be better. It made me want. It's how that obsession came of me being in here 24/7.
And okay, it sounds like you really are like, when do you ever go home? How much time do you spend at home? What do you do at home these
I was
days?
literally home for like an hour and 30 minutes. I took a nap and I woke up and I just drove up here. And after this, I'm about to go watch the film from practice and then get on Alabama film. So I'll probably be here
And
till
as we're recording this, this is your open week right here. You're not playing Alabama as we're recording. When it's published, it will be Alabama week, but you're already sounds like you're already kind of treating it as if it is.
absolutely. And that's the whole thing. We gotta get a jump on this week, and that's beauty of having a bye week before a big game. We get to jump mentally on these guys.
A lot of times Alabama kind of makes teams melt getting off the bus or walking out for the handshake. You guys showed no fear last year. Obviously, that was a great team that ended up winning the national title, but you pushed them like nobody had. What did you guys say to each other before that game that inspired you to play fearlessly like that?
No matter what happens, we'll still always be there for each other. And I think that was a clear message going out through the week. Because like I said before, like nobody knew what kind of team we had. Like we didn't even know what kind of team we had. We're going to go out there and give it our best shot and we'll see what happens. And, we went toe to toe with them, and then the season goes by and we have these ups and downs, and and like the off season happens, and it's like, okay, now we realize what kind of team we are. We realize what we have. We know what we want to accomplish, and there's a standard to get to where we want to accomplish. So we got to do that.
So you're getting a lot of buzz for a lot of different things, whether it be individual awards, draft stuff. Lane obviously calls that all rat poison. How does he keep you from the rat poison, or how do you keep yourself from the rat poison?
I don't really pay attention to it. The only reason I got back on social media was because of I'm about to have some paid opportunities for NIL. So that's really the sole reason why I got it back, but I'm not really on it. Nobody talks about myself here. So it's always still about getting better. We're always talking about what I did wrong and what could be better. And, I'm fully aware of what I did wrong, and I completely agree with them. So, just us being on the same page and then focusing on that, some of the other stuff doesn't even get mentioned.
But before because I know you kind of deleted your social media apps, and I know you said you put them back on for the NIL stuff. But before you did, you posted something right before the season started I thought was really interesting. Did you write this? This is what I really want you to understand, my man? Is that something you wrote to yourself?
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm gonna read it for the folks so they can hear it. So this is right as the season's about to start. This is what I really want you to understand, my man. You don't know why you want to be great yet. And a person that doesn't know what he will do with greatness, but knows he wants to be great, is a man who will not know what to do with power if he were to achieve greatness. And those people are dangerous because they can never fill the hole in them that wants more. And they cannot even describe what more is. It is a general dissatisfaction with self and others that starts from not really knowing what you want to do with what you've been given in this life. You have to find your purpose, and then you will find the people that align with you and give your life meaning. That may only leave you with one or two friends, but it will be more than enough, and you will never feel alone because you live for something bigger than yourself. That's not something I would have understood till I was in my 30s and had kids. Like, when did that kind of dawn on you?
That was my mentor, Dave Daglow. He's been my trainer since I was a sophomore. I'm really close with him. I started with him when he was just working with clients in his living room in his apartment and on this little pad. And I was one of the first guys who started with him. And that's a different story for a different day, because that was life-changing for me. But yeah, he's really focused on my mental space, and the type of stuff that I get from him is something that I wouldn't get anywhere else. And I just firmly believe that. And that was one of the things that he left me with. And that's something that I have written down in my phone that I look at every single day, because it speaks to me, because he tells me a lot of things, man, like a lot of random things. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, Dave, like, cool. But that one thing, it stuck to me, and I read it and I kept reading it just to really comprehend what it was saying. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's, because it's a lot of unhappiness going in through the just working towards what you want in life, and like all those ups and downs, and man, you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Well, and the other part of it is that I think is really interesting and very, very wise. And especially at your age, you've kind of embraced it, is a lot of times you'll have these goals and goals for your life. And sometimes you'll reach them. And then you're like, okay, what now? Like for me, as a sports writer, my goal coming out of college was like, if I could ever get my, a story on the cover of Sports Illustrated, then my life would be complete. Well, I worked for Sports Illustrated for 11 years, so I got a lot of stories on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And the first time you do it, you're like, I kind of didn't even like that story. Like, so what now? Like, I'm not sad. And it's like the whole the hole that never filled part really kind of resonated with me. I was like, oh, it's not, there's no destination that'll satisfy you. You have to like the whole journey.
Yep. It's falling in love with the process.